Today I'm attempting to drive my mobile home into uncharted territories, all alone.
Can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I've never been more excited to see a gas station.
The Dempster Highway, one of the most remote roads in North America, 800 kilometers road to the Arctic Ocean.
So this is the temporary solution. A 120 volt into the external battery pack.
With any trip like this, things are bound not to go according to plan. What obstacles will I need to overcome?
Going to the car wash. It's kind of my last attempt to get some fast charging here.
This is my story.
So every time I cross the border from the United States into Canada, I always get super nervous. I always feel like I'm doing something wrong, and I don't necessarily want to tell them that I live in here. Yeah, but really, here goes nothing. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Where do you live?
Portland, Oregon.
How long are you going to stay in Canada?
For about a month.
What's the purpose of your trip?
Driving to the Arctic Circle.
In Canada?
Mm-hmm.
Is it all planned out?
Yeah.
You know where you're going to stop?
Yep.
How many nights?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to head anywhere into like Alaska or just straight up to the...
Potentially. Yeah.
Okay, so you're not sure.
Yeah.
So 30 days total is what you're going to be
Yep.
in Canada.
Yep.
Do you have any guns?
Nope.
Any weapons?
Nope.
Do you have accommodations booked already in Canada?
Yeah.
Are you going to visit anyone in Canada?
No.
Do you have anything in this vehicle that's going to stay in Canada?
Nope. We're in Canada. Oh my God, that was nerve-wracking. A lot of questions. Like, I started to doubt myself even. Okay, we're good. Now the journey really starts. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. I have nothing planned.
I spent the next week making my way up to Dawson City, spending a total of $42 fast and slow charging, till we arrived in this northern town in the Yukon, the last major town with free 50 kilowatt fast charging. The next 800 kilometers there wouldn't be any public charging, and when I told people I'm making this journey, people were very skeptical, but still I had a sense of confidence.
So it's official, we're starting today at mile 0, and right behind me we have the Dempster Highway, and I'm super excited, I'm super nervous. This is probably the most remote journey I've ever done. We're going to be hypermiling. I have some extra resources that I will talk about later in this video about how I am optimizing my range. And what I really love about places like this, which is the beginning of an adventure, is the people that have been here too. All the people that have left their stickers here, whether from cycling, motorcycle, or with their cars. And it's awesome to see that people take on this adventure. And today is going to be my turn.
When I tell people that I'm embarking on this journey by myself and without a spare tire, people are very confused. But because it's my home, I prefer traveling lighter, as every square centimeter has been carefully considered.
So we've driven about 100 kilometers now. We've driven about 1.5 hours. So relatively slow, you could say, but the road is very bumpy, as you can probably hear from my voice. But the scenery has changed dramatically. Like before it was some lush forest, some pine trees, and now I'm pretty sure we're in the tundra. And I learned that tundra means treeless plains. And the reason why not many trees like grow in the tundra is because of the permafrost. And because of the permafrost, it's frozen like soil. Trees cannot embed themselves deep enough to grow healthy. That's why if you look around right now, it's very much just small little scrubs. It's so cool that once you keep driving, how much the landscapes just change. The mountains are back, and yeah, it's late June, and it's about 7 degrees Celsius. So definitely not warm, but I think optimal to make this drive.
I purposely choose not to plan too far ahead, as I can become anxious and prefer to take it moment by moment. But, this will work really against me and could have saved me a headache.
Can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I've never been more excited to see a gas station. I even timed myself. I think it was about 7 hours of driving. So now let's go find some charging. So that first trip, I used a total of 460 kilometers worth of range. Climate control was only about 2.2 kilometers. Elevation was pretty interesting, as if I go to trips and I go right here, my average energy consumption was 230 watts per kilometer, but on average, my Dempster Highway is 198, which is about very, I like to think that is very efficient, considering the highway is not the greatest. So we got a campground, but when I asked the guy who works there what kind of power they have, he was unsure. So I hope it's not just a 15 amp, just a regular 120 alpha. I really hope it's like an RV outlet, because that would really be awesome, because that means essentially I can charge overnight and be back on the road tomorrow morning. We have a charging issue. Never had that before. In the one place I need a trickle charge, it's faulting with my car for whatever reason. So this is the temporary solution. A 120 volt into the external battery pack, grounded right here, and then I have my plug right here, and that's charging the Tesla right now. No faults whatsoever. We're getting about 12 amps. I think I might have to go back to the maintenance center and ask if potentially they have a RV outlet for me that I can use.
A few moments later.
All the adapters that I've had over the last 18 months that I've barely had to use, and I thought I had them all. The one plug that I needed, it wouldn't fit my car. So I was like, okay, back to square one. At least we have power, 12 amps. Very grateful for that. And I only need about 300 kilometers worth of range to get to Unik.
Yeah, no, we just so that's why we have no label. So now we're not entirely sure that we have the right key. But.
So let me give a little bit of a backdrop here. So right now I'm driving with Garnet, going to the car wash. It's kind of my last attempt to get some fast charging here in Eagle Plains, but the staff has been so generous helping me out. I've been here for 2 days now, a little bit over 40 hours. Gotten to know some of the people who work here, like Carlos and Frank. Yeah, but it's my own undoing. I didn't plan as I should have. But yeah, now we're gonna see if I have access to the car wash, that the key works, that we have.
That we have the right hookup.
Yeah, and the right hookup. That's the most important one too. But let's see how this goes. No way. Okay, that's step one. Door opens. Okay.
Step two is
It's the plug. Okay, let's see if we have the right adapter. So that's the adapter that I need that I don't have. It's a 30 amp, 250 volts, Hubble twist and lock. That was kind of the last effort here to get a fast charge, so I'm here for another day.
This is the worst!
So I did spend a total of 4 days charging at Eagle Plains. I was very grateful to have electricity, because Garnet was telling me that there's times during the year that their diesel generators shuts off, which means that they don't have power for the fuel pumps either. They really are a life source for this whole region.
Made a friend while living here. doing some laps in the morning, and got a running partner.
But we weren't in the green yet, as we still had about 600 kilometers to go. And after 4 days, it was great to be back on the open road.
We have successfully made it to the Arctic Circle! Woo! Sorry for the audio there. Oh my goodness. Arctic Circle, latitude 33. We're here. We're here. Oh my God. I don't have words. Almost 2 weeks of driving. I at least gotta touch the sign. We're here. Wow. So many people have been here too, but it's awesome. But this is still not my final point. Where I'm trying to get to is Tuk, which is over here, right? Because Unik, that's where we're going right now. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. We are here. And this is the first, many markers of laying down the road. And I feel like in some way an early explorer for EV adoption. And what's awesome too, with Eagle Planes, they're gonna set up chargers so people can charge overnight and then make it to Unik. That's where I'm going right now. Wow. Wow. So I actually met the gentleman and he has to wait like 5 days to get a spare. Fort McPherson, which is about halfway to Unik, and this is the first ferry crossing. It's free, it's awesome. I think it's done by cable and it's open not year-round actually. Half the year it's an ice road, and then there are 2 periods in the fall and in the spring where they're closed as well. Let me raise my suspension. I guess they're gonna wait. Perfect. Okay here? Thank you. It's pretty cool. These are free, and best part is I'll take them because I'm not using any battery right now. So this is pretty neat. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. You too, thank you. All right, there we go. First ferry crossing. Good travel, but we have a lot more road to hit, a lot. But taking it slow, and it's surprising that I'm actually, with regenerative motors, I am driving optimal and actually using less than is expected.
And about 3 hours later, we arrived in a small town of Unik. And this was the first time I was able to charge at a decent speed at 30 amps, and for 35 Canadian a night, I was able to charge pretty much overnight, which was a terrific feeling to have. So this is the main reason why I want to drive to the Arctic Ocean. It's not because I want to be the first Tesla or electric vehicle to do it. It's an inspiration of my dad. This is my dad. His name was Marcel. We're sailing somewhere in Bonaire. It's been by far
the hardest time of my life ever since he passed away. Not only was he my greatest fan in whatever I did, he was also a great source of inspiration for me, and that still lives on today. Brought us to all these different places to live. That's how I ended up in the United States. And one of the places that he actually never traveled to was the Arctic. And I think for any road life adventure, the Arctic is such a remote place. So I want to bring him there. I want to spread some of his ashes that I've had with me since living on the road. And it's a very and that's why this trip means the world to me.
This highway is literally a choke. It's very soft, a lot of gravel, and the last 150 kilometers or so, from what I heard from motorcycles, is like hell because it's so loose. But you are probably wondering what kind of strategies I've been using to make this trip happen. So yeah, here are my little secrets that I do, and I've been testing them a little bit to optimize range. So the first thing is, right now I do not have climate control on. I do have my ventilated seats on, but the AC is off 100%. And I do this to conserve battery. It usually costs me about 10 kilometers of range, depending on how I drive, which isn't crazy, but I am trying to be as optimal as I can. Secondly, I drive barefoot. And the reason why I drive barefoot is so I can feel the input of the car, essentially. And especially when it comes to regenerative braking, when I'm going downhill, I let the car kind of just roll slowly. So it's a little bit of a game, but it's just juice that I get back. And sometimes along this journey, I have actually been more optimal than the car thought it was going to be. So that's awesome. The third thing that I do is I lower my suspension to very low, to optimize like a performance kind of race. And it has a pros and cons that sometimes on some really hard divots, I might scrape the bottom of the undercarriage just a little bit. But honestly, I don't care. But yeah, so oh, there we go. That's a hard one, okay. Okay, I do have to pay attention there. So the fourth thing that I do is I unplug all electronics from the car. Like the two external battery packs that I have with me, the 1 kilowatt hours, the EcoFlow Delta 2s, they were all powered by solar, or when I used to cook, I repowered them at campsites with a regular 120 volts. I did not want them eating anything out of my battery. And you might be thinking, Sandro, that's so desperate. You know, how is this practical to drive in a Tesla to the Arctic Ocean? Well, what's really fascinating is that I have passed many groups of overlanding crews, and I'm about 1 to 1.5 days behind them, and actually sometimes I even pass them. And on the road like this, where it's about 1,000 kilometers of just dirt roads, sharp rocks, you don't want to travel any faster. And the fact that I have two external battery packs as backup, like extra fuels or can, is pretty awesome. Makes me feel pretty good. And yeah, that's kind of the neat little tricks that I've learned on how to optimize range. It sounds desperate for most of my road trips and living on the road in my Tesla. I don't need to be that desperate at all. And is it desperate really, in my opinion? Just trying to be optimal. And I've talked to some people on the road and they said, yeah, they have a range of like maybe 500 kilometers of gas before they have to fill up. And that's about the same what I get. So what you're probably gonna see along the road is when you go up, is besides how bad the road is a lot of snowmobiles. And these are not abandoned, but it's the snowmobiles left from the First Nations people that live here, that roam here, that thrive here during the winter time. And because this landscape just changes like crazy. I can't imagine how cold it gets up here. And then I think the tougher thing is the 24-hour darkness, because right now it's 24-hour daylight, which has been really messing with me sleep-wise. Maybe I sound a little bit sick, but that's just essentially the dust too. But the lack of sleep is not helping. A little private escort smoothing out the road for me as I make an entry into the town. What a lad, what a lad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there is that famous sign right there. There it is. But it's not complete yet. It's not complete. Okay. We did it.